Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, here is my Temu haul of mostly rings and ring accessories. So I'm putting this clip at the beginning because I went through the whole unboxing. I showed what the packaging looked like, It was my very first Temu haul, so I had seen some videos about what to expect. Everything kind of arrived as I expected it to arrive. They're overall satisfied. I gotta say, value for money, I am satisfied. I thought I would put this clip at the beginning now that everything's unpackaged so we can take a look at that. And then if you actually care to watch me unbag it all, then you can stick around for that. So what did I get? I got 4 of these kind of cardboard with a plastic see-through ring display boxes. They came 2 to a pack, and they hold 100 rings a piece. I also got this 3-drawered unit. This is a drawer that would just slide in there. I just have it out for now. Each drawer holds 24 rings. I got 120 of these individual ring cases, which are actually pretty cool, I gotta say. They were under $3 for 20 of them, and they're fantastic. So they don't even really have that much of a hinge to them. It's just like a little piece of metal, but it opens and closes pretty good. You just can't, you have to be a little bit careful with it. And if it ever does come apart, you can put it back together. But each of these little cases comes with kind of a metallic foil insert on the bottom, and then of course it has the foam to stick a ring in, and then the little case itself just looks actually really fantastic. It makes, these super cheap rings almost kind of look like something special when they're in these little cases. So as you can see, I have about 40 rings here in the cases just for display right now, showing some of the cases closed, some opened. I love this like 8-ball spider. That is so cool. And this ring that says revenge. That looks really neat too. Some of these big chonky skull rings I picked up individually. Typically, every big chonky ring like that you see was $1 or less. Definitely not above $2 because I wanted to buy a big mass quantity of these and I didn't have, infinite amounts of money to spend. So I got a bunch of those ring cases, a bunch of those individual chonky skull rings. But then the majority of the rings I got came in mass packs of like 20 to 50 rings a piece. So for example, this was a pack of these kind of skull and other faces with these kind of little blinged out gems on them, which is just kind of cool. But then there were a lot of these. I think this was like a pack of like gothic themed rings or something like that. So it just had a bunch of skulls and a bunch of random other things. Like this eye with the teardrops is actually pretty cool. And then some of these that were just kind of more antique looking rings, like these southwestern turquoise looking rings, and some of these gold rings as well. Just overall really kind of nifty. A lot of these were just mixed sizes. A lot of the sizes are pretty small, but the rings that did come bearing the size seem to fit pretty true to size. And the gold and silver pack of these kind of skull rings had several duplicates, so I put the duplicates together. Like there were a bunch of this style. There were a whole bunch of those in the silver, and then there were a whole bunch of those in the gold. So there were a lot more repeats, where some were very few, such as like these kind of like Indian chief looking rings. There were only 2 of those, and there were none in the gold pack. And these kind of almost like kabuki mask kind of crazy looking rings, there was only 1 of each in each of those packs. So there were definitely multiples of some, less of others, but just overall, I mean, they all fit in these cases really nice. You like from this angle, this box looks pretty good, right? Of course, on the bottom, as you can see, because again, it ships in just a plastic bag, so there's bound to be some damage. Thankfully, this wasn't too bad, especially if I'm gonna have it out like this, then you can't even really tell there was anything wrong with it. And these 3 even had less stuff there. So yeah, I was happy with it. This plastic tray of drawers is kind of nice, though it also did receive some damage. It got some cracks on the side there. I don't know how well you can see that, but nothing too crazy. And that was actually the most well packaged thing of all, because it was actually in a cardboard box inside of the bag, but it still took some damage. The rings themselves all look fine. Again, I'm really liking these individual ring cases. I got way more than I need, obviously, but those are actually kind of cool. Yeah, just overall, this was my first haul. I made a couple orders, actually, so I'll be doing some more unboxings as the rest of that stuff comes in. Most of these were advertised as men's or unisex. Some of these are very, very tiny, like some of these gold rings. I wouldn't be able to get this on. Some of these may be good if, like, you're wanting to stack rings. I know some people like to do those stacked effect, or whatever it's called, where you have them on like your knuckles instead of your full finger, whatever the case may be. A lot of those smaller gold rings would be good for that, but it's a variety of sizes, and a good variety of sizes as well. Some are huge, some are tiny, but overall not too bad, right? So definitely can recommend that. Shipping was good, everything arrived really nice. I think I may be missing one ring, but I mean, you're looking at basically 360 some rings, so a ring missing isn't like the end of the world. But yeah, just keep an eye on that, especially if you're buying big lots of these kind of rings. But anyway, so that is it for this. Stay tuned if you actually want to see me unpackage it all and see what it looked like packaged. That's coming up right now. Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, today we got our first ever package from Temu. This is a big old package full of stuff. I think this is only package one of like 3 or something like that. So we have a lot to look at. Over there you can see my big light box, because we're going to take a closer peek at all this stuff with some scrutiny, obviously. All right, anyways, let's open this thing up and see what we got. And this is, of course, Temu's legendary packaging. All I ever hear is how piss poor it's all packaged. But I mean, I think one of the... again, this is my very first Temu package. So I've never experienced anything like this from them before. So all of this is going to be new. Let's take a look at what we got here. I picked up a couple packs of these ring cases. Let's open this up real fast. I'm not going to not going to do this for everything, but I just thought at least for this one we could take a peek. So these are little ring holders. And I'm not sure what side is supposed to be up, if it's this foam side or the black side, but either way, so you can put a ring in there, and then it's just kind of this little... God, that scared me the way that made that sound, because it's not really much of a hinge. It's like just a metal piece, but and because I did see in some of the reviews, you got to be kind of careful with that so that it doesn't break. But I just thought these were kind of a neat way to display some rings, and so I picked up a couple packs of 20 of these. So far that actually looks pretty cool. So we got one of those. Oh, we got another one of those. So here's another pack of 20 of those guys. So again, this is my very first Temu order. I've seen several unboxings in the past. Okay, evidently I got more of these than I thought I did. Here's another package of these. And you know, so I don't know. They do sales every so often. They offer different things, different specials. I think one of the things that I was able to get was like free shipping. Again, I don't know if that is actually odd, or if that's what everyone gets or what. Here's a size 10 ring. I have a ring very similar to this, but that chain inlay in mine is silver and not this kind of gold coloring. So this is a size 10. My middle finger is a size 10. Come on and focus. What is the deal here? And yes, it actually, and the chain actually does spin. So that's very cool, and it fits perfectly. So that is very true to size. Very nice. Size 10. Any of these rings that I'm pulling out here were $1 or less. So this was probably like 98 cents or something like that. But I just thought that was kind of cool. And I don't know, obviously, having just bought it, if it's gonna, turn my finger green. I wish there was like well, maybe there is. I was gonna say, I wish there was a test that you could do right away, because obviously I'm not gonna know now until I wear it for a while. God. I absolutely bought them out of these ring holders, evidently. And of course this one is opened. But, yeah. I must have got a lot of these. That's so funny. But I mean, for like a couple bucks, how can you go wrong? And you can use these for all sorts of different things. But anyways, I'm going to be rambling a lot as I pull stuff out of this package. But because it's so funny, a lot of people were upset with how things are packaged because it just comes in this. There's no protective box or casing or anything. It's just this bag all the way from China. Here's another little ring holder. This is some little sub package. But because of that, obviously, things can go very wrong. So here was a whole pile of these kind of rings. And this is the kind of stuff I'm going to put in the box light. I don't even remember how many rings there were here. And they're all different sizes. So like here's this pinky ring of the skull. I just thought that was kind of cool. So I got a bunch of these skull rings because I like handing things out on game night. So maybe if we play like some kind of... I play a lot of tabletop gaming and RPGs and things like that. And so maybe you could use this as like props. Okay, there's the skull ring. But these are all different kinds of rings done in this skull finish. I can't remember how many were in this lot, but there's a lot of them, obviously. And I'm not going to be wearing any of these seriously. So... it shouldn't be too bad. Uh-oh, we lost one here. It probably opened up or something in the package, but that's kind of bizarre because this is, as far as I can see, this is sealed, but there's just nothing in this bag. So that's kind of weird. I have to see which ring this one was. Here is one, just a very basic, and it's so funny because now I'm going to have to go look at the website and see what these actually, like what the pictures were. So this was obviously a size 10. And see how the real deal shapes up to the pictures. And I can already tell you, I doubt it was anything this bland. You can barely even make out what that was supposed to be. It looks like a dragon. But you can see the finishing. These are just things like you'd get out of a quarter machine. Rings out of like a capsule vending machine. This isn't like an actual fine... obviously, it's not going to be fine jewelry, but I wouldn't even call this like serious jewelry. Like this is capsule machine-worthy jewelry. Here is another one. This one's a size 9. I figured if I was going to wear any of these for like a game or anything, I would be wearing it typically on my middle finger, which is a 10. I guess it could be a 9 because this is a 9 and that fits okay. And I wish this would focus, my God. But otherwise, I was going to wear 9s on my other finger like this on this hand. But this is just awful. And again, we'll take closer looks at this stuff once we get to the light box. I probably shouldn't even be doing this now. But just this center part where you can kind of make out a scorpion, but you can see the edges all around the outside are just rough. Very just rough. So yeah, this is definitely prop jewelry, I would say. I would never wear any of this out, like for real, seriously. And again, each of these single rings were $1 or less, and I can absolutely see why. Here's a whole big bundle of rings. Now, unlike those gold ones, these all have their size on them, which is fantastic. Well, because a lot of times, you go to Renaissance fairs and stuff, and they always have their big trays full of rings. Oh, yeah, these are actually kind of neat. Now these claim to be stainless steel, but I've always wondered, where do those like Renaissance fair vendors get all those skull rings and dragon rings? And I'm pretty sure it's probably from places like this. But look at this. This one, these actually look kind of nice. Now they claim to be stainless steel. I don't know if that's actually true or not. This is a size 10. That's more of a size 9. But look at that. That actually doesn't look too bad. That actually has some decent detail on it. So I'm pretty happy with these. Of course, I'm happy with all of this. I went into this 100% not even knowing for sure if I would actually end up receiving the package or not. So, you know, if you don't have the money to spend, how does that saying go? Like, if you can't afford to lose it, don't buy it or something like that. So this was all just stuff that I had no true expectations for. So anything we do get out of this is A-okay. Now this is actually kind of cool. This black skull ring with horns. And this will be the last one that I pull out of here, because we'll do all of this in a second. I have a lot more stuff to actually pull out of the bag. So this was probably a size 10 too. So that's actually kind of cool. But again, that's mostly just like a prop. But you can see that skull there. I wish it had some teeth or some fangs, because right now it just looks like it's toothless, like its gums. Someone forgot to put his dentures in or something. You see this big gaping hole in the middle of its mouth. Now, I guess that was a size 9 also. But that's actually kind of a cool looking ring. All right, let's keep pulling stuff out, and then we'll take a closer look at more stuff. All right, let's pull out these things, because these things obviously seem to be taking up the bulk of what is here. And of course, these are just absolutely smashed to hell. These are, I believe, my ring display boxes. Can we back up a bit? I mean, my gosh. And as long as the top is okay, and it kind of is. So you have these. These are just made out of like card stock or something like that, but they have this clear plastic on top of the lid, so you can take the lid off, and then inside are all, I think there's enough space for 100 rings with all the foam indents. And there's that. So actually that isn't too bad. It doesn't look too terribly bad. There's like some scuffs on this plastic part, but actually it seems like a lot of those are kind of rubbing off. So when you have your rings in here, you can kind of display them like that. The underside of this, as you can see, is just beat to hell. I mean, it came from China in this bag, so I mean, what more can you expect? But yeah, honestly, the top of it, which is the most important part, is okay. I saw some people had some split corners. Thankfully, it doesn't look like any of my corners are split, at least on this one. I picked up a few of these, so there's one. Here's the other one from this package, and this one actually, apart from a kind of a crunched corner, this one actually looks pretty good. And some more, and my God, I got so many of those ring capsules. I did not realize I got that many of them. Here's 2 more of these. And that's it for that. Another package of 20 of those ring capsules. So what are we up to now? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100? Do we seriously have over 100 of these things? Because here's another one, but of course it was split open also. Now that I mention it, I do think I remember ordering 100 of them. Here's another ring. Here's a box of something. I have no clue what is in this box. I'll have to take a look at that in a second. Here are a whole bunch more individually packaged rings. Again, we'll take a look at all of these in just a little bit. You can smell the metal. Like I'm smelling my fingers. You know, like when you handle pennies or you just handle metal, and then like you smell, like your fingers start to smell metal, like Chuck E. Cheese tokens after a while might make your finger. I just have this smell of like metal just engulfing me right now. Here's another pouch, likely completely packed full of rings, because that's what this is. If you haven't noticed yet, it is rings, rings, and more rings. And then here we go. Look at these. Now these are actually kind of neat because they have all these jewels in the eyes. So there's a bunch of these different skull rings and lion face rings and whatnot. And a lot of those just said various sizes. Here are a bunch of rings. Are these the Gothic rings? Yeah, this just says 50 random rings. So here's a whole bunch of just random rings. Oh my gosh, you can smell the metal, I swear. Holy smokes. Here's another pouch of something, more than likely rings. What do we got in here? Yep, more rings. I think, were these like the Bohemian rings or whatever, mixed style? Some of these were like Bohemian or boho kind of rings. They were just all silver, and a lot of these had these kind of like faux turquoise look to them and stuff. A whole bunch more rings. These are all men's rings or unisex rings. Wow, there's a lot more in here. Here's another big package full of rings. There's another pouch, I'm sure. Did you see how many rings are here? Oh my god. This is nuts. Here's another big old pack full of skull rings. Oh my gosh. And no, my intention is not to set up a stall at the Renaissance Fair and sell these rings. Though I feel like I almost want to now. Here's a bunch of just random gold colored rings. Tons and tons of rings. Oh boy, what else? Well, there's even more rings in here. No sign, unfortunately, of the ring that got away. Whatever it was. Oh wait, here's one. It's, yeah, still no sign. This one looked kind of cool with all the like bling on it. More kind of skull rings. Skull rings. Fancy kind of gothic looking rings. Big old chonker skull ring. Yeah, there was that one in here that this did not have anything in it, and it was fully sealed. So, and I have no clue what that was supposed to be. Nothing. All right, so that is it, because I just wanted to double check that before we throw that away. And then now this box, whatever this could be. Oh my goodness, what do you think is in here? Something ring related potentially. And if that's what you guessed correct. And that's nice that it came packaged in that cardboard box. So here's what this is. And this actually looks kind of nice. This is for rings. It's a 3-drawer tray that holds what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 3 is 72. So this, oh god, that sounds terrible. This plastic 3-drawer compartmentalized tray. Oh no, look at that. Well, that is a damn shame. We have some scratches, some damaged, busted side on that thing, which is a damn shame, right? Because this was the most well-packaged thing in the entire thing because it came in its own box. But my gosh, yeah, that's too bad. Some people say, and I guess returning things through Temu or whatever Temu is not a hard thing to do, and it sounds like a lot of people do that. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. But that is it for this portion of the vid. So let's take a peek at all this and some of these rings closer under this ring light. Okay, and we are back. So, what do we even want to take a look at first anyway? Let's open up one of these small packs. These, of course, don't say what the sizes are. These look incredibly small. But, for instance, well, let's bring this whole camera inside. So this has some like flowers on it. This would barely fit my pinky finger, but then you have some of these that just kind of have the turquoise look to them. But as you can see, like, look at the underside of that. But I mean, what can you expect? These are like 10 cents a piece or something, like something outrageous like that. That one's kind of neat. And I guess a lot of these you could probably, stack them or something like that. Just different random designs on them. All right, that's enough of those. Those are probably the most boring of all the rings. These might end up being kind of cool. We got a couple packages of these. These were called like, I don't know if this was the Gothic pack. Oh yeah, that'll fit nicely. In fact, that would fit even this kind of finger on me. But that's a kind of a cool ring. It's like a skull with a couple daggers through the eyes. So that is a cool ring. Look at this one. Look at this eyeball that's like crying tears. That's more of a pinky ring, I suppose. That's interesting. What else do we have in here? We have this kind of butterfly skull. That's kind of a cool ring. What else? God, what is that? Is that a brain and a heart? Like an actual human brain / heart? I have no idea. This one's cool. I kind of like the colors on it, though it's very sloppily done. As you can see, you got the spade. The next one's supposed to be a diamond, but it's kind of messy. And the next one, a club. The next one, I assume, is the heart. But it's kind of nifty. Especially from afar, it doesn't look as bad. This is a cool skull ring also. Is that supposed to be a snake? Kind of slithering in one eye and out the other. But then you have like this. I'm not sure that that's supposed to be part of the design or if that's a defect. I have no idea. This happy little flower. You know, I wonder, do you think that I could, because here's these, you know, I got like, how many, 120 of these things? Oh, look at this jester one. These capsules almost seem like they would fit through one of my vending machines. Okay, you got to admit, these cheap 5-cent rings, when you put them in one of these capsules, does that not automatically make that ring a million times cooler? I swear. Just doing that makes this ring actually look like something of value. Oh my gosh. And these are smaller, I think, than a 2-inch capsule. I bet I could fill, I'm just having this breakthrough moment. I bet I could fill an entire 2-inch capsule machine with these cheap-ass rings in these clear ring cases. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? All right, anyways, I really should not be taking up the time looking at those bulk rings. I should be using this time to look at these rings. As you can see, I think that's supposed to be a dragon on the side, and you can see the defects in the metal, how it's kind of rough. And again, I wouldn't wear this out on the town or anything like that, but so with these fatter bands, will they fit in here as well? is my question now. Like, what is this? Why was... Oh, I guess that was just on the bottom? Was that in there purposefully to make it look cooler or something? I have no idea. So assuming that was... Can this fat band fit in there too? Oh, I don't know. I feel like it could. Oh, it's kind of ripping the foam. This one may be too thick for that, which is a shame because you'd probably want these thicker rings to be the rings that you have in these kind of cases. I mean, if you force it in there like that, I guess that doesn't look god-awful, but even still. I guess that doesn't look too bad, but doesn't look too good either. Plus, this one wasn't one of the best ones because this one looks kind of scuffed up. But I think a lot of that is just like probably factory dust or something. All right, anyways, enough of that. I've already kind of warped and stretched out that foam. You can put something like this in there. Does that not instantly make this cheap-ass 5-cent ring look infinitely more desirable when it's in one of these little cases? How cool is that? You put that on a display, someone's going to look at that and be like, oh my gosh, hell yeah, how much? Oh, you know, 15 bucks. All right. I'm hoping that we can at least fit one of these big chonker rings in there. Actually, this one may not fit in there at all. But, ooh, this is probably one of my favorite ones so far. I love the horn design. How cool is that? Yeah, now we're talking. That just looks pretty sweet. Would this fit in there? Probably not. And this probably won't even fit in there, just period. Well, you know, it looks like the ring part would. It's just that the skull itself is too big. Too big for the actual case. But I could still leave it out kind of like that, maybe. I don't know. These trays, I'm just going to pull out one of these trays from that thing. Would this even fit in a tray? No, unfortunately. Well, actually, oh, sorry. Actually, it does, just barely. Because, well, I don't know. Actually, yeah, it does. It fits in there. Okay. All right, anyways. All right. What's some other rings we can look at here? This one looks kind of funky. So in all, what did I spend? Like $140. Now, of course, this is only about half of my order. I still have a bunch of stuff coming. What the heck is that in its nose? Is that supposed to be there? It looks like a gigantic booger. I can't imagine that is supposed to be there, right? But I'm afraid maybe it is supposed to be there, and so I shouldn't pick that out. But it looks like a little rock. And that is in there pretty good. So I have no idea. I think I'd prefer it without that in there, though. That is so funny. But the ring itself, the design itself is actually kind of neat. And I like the color. I like how it's kind of this rustic, distressed. And I like the design of it. It definitely has that metal smell, though. So your hands are going to be smelling like copper pennies. But the design looks cool. I don't know about that. God, I want to get that out of there so bad because that's bugging me. Surely that's not supposed to be in there. But maybe it is. I don't remember seeing that in there when I bought it. What is something else? What about this? What about this ring? Oh, this is the dice ring. Oh my gosh. Did the dice actually turn? No, what? I thought for sure the dice were supposed to turn on this. Sorry, you probably can't even see what I'm talking about. Does that not look like the dice should absolutely turn? Would that not be the entire point of the ring? But of course, I think it was only like $1. Well, that is disappointing. These dice are just literally molded in place. Wah, wah. Well, it looks kind of cool. I like the fleur-de-lis and skull on either side, and the silver of the dice contrasted with the gold. And then, if you didn't think it was cool then, you pop it in one of these bad boys, and instantly you are like, get me that. How do I get one of those? Oh my gosh. Yeah, how cool is that? Let's see here. Let's take a look at some of these gem blinged out eye skulls. Like, look at this guy. That's kind of cool, right? And this wolf's head, look at that. And of course, when we're playing games and stuff, and I want to award someone the Ring of the Baron or the Ring of the Warlord or something, I can't show them that I have 200 of these rings. Otherwise, that makes it seem less special. So what we'll have to do is be like, oh yes, here's this ring, the Ring of the Wolf in this capsule. But I doubt this will fit either, will it? Yeah, these, well, that actually seemed to work. But can I get it closed now is the question. If I can get this wolf to close in here. Basically, look at that. Now you have to admit that looks kind of cool. Yes, the legendary Ring of the Wolf. Not knowing that that is one of about 30 rings of a similar style. Okay, is this sealed? No, I guess not. It's adhesive. But yeah, that is a shame about that other missing ring. I have no clue. I have to look back and see which one it was. Here's this ring. I don't think that it actually has bling. Any sparkles on it is just the sparkle of the metal, really. But it's kind of has a neat, intricate design with that kind of just black stone on top. You almost feel like one of those, this definitely looks more feminine than a male ring, especially with how thin that band is. But again, we have 120 of these. Oh God, see what I just did? I don't know if I can manually get that to go back on there. That's one thing I definitely heard in the reviews is that you can't be opening and closing these things willy-nilly. But it's just crazy that there like is no hinge. It's literally just this metal like bracket thing. But I don't know how I could get that to go back. Can I? I don't know. Now is probably not the time to deal with this. But just all that to say, putting this in one of these definitely makes it stand out more. So probably my favorite thing so far has been these crystal looking ring cases. All right, anyways, that'll probably wrap it up. We don't need to look at every single ring here. But just note, we have a lot of rings. We have a lot of ring cases. And there's even more to come. Some ring related and some not ring related. All right, folks, that'll do it for this Temu haul. What do I think? I'm pleasantly surprised. I ordered this about less than a week ago, I think, maybe about a week ago. So the shipping was super fast. It was free shipping. Um, and uh, all this stuff, all these rings were just pennies a piece. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I'm not disappointed in the slightest. All right, folks, that'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until